Welcome to The Vinyl Guide, the podcast for record collectors and music nerds. Here's your host, the biggest record nerd of them all, Nate Goyer.
Well, hey everyone, it's Nate. Welcome to episode 558 of The Vinyl Guide, the podcast for record collectors and music nerds. And dear people, this week I'm very excited to be sharing a conversation I recently had with John McCrae of the band Cake. And I've been a huge fan of the band Cake since really the mid-90s. I've seen them live several times. I had all their CDs. And for over a decade, I absolutely pined to have the Cake albums on vinyl. And for the longest time, the only vinyl release of some of Cake's most beloved albums was in this Record Store Day box set that came out in, I think, 2014 and immediately sold out and shot up in value. And so it was very frustrating for quite some time. However, in recent years, that has changed. There have been official reissues of most everything Cake has made on vinyl. However, there's a few exceptions, and we talk about those with John today. We also talk about new music. It's been like 15 years since the last Cake album. Tours have been few and far between. So again, we asked the question. We found out directly from John what's been up and when are we going to hear the next album. And I got to tell you, it's very good news, people. You'll have to listen to the show to find out the details. We also talk about Cake's upcoming tour of Australia, March 2027, Perth, Adelaide, Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane. Sydney has two shows. The first one sold out quickly, so you got to get in on it. All the remaining shows are very close to selling out. So secure your tickets today to see Cake. DestroyAllLines.com. I'll put the link in this episode page, and mark your calendars for Cake, March 2027. And real quick, before we get into this conversation, let me plug my Patreon page, patreon.com/vinylguide. That's how we keep this podcast going. Kind, handsome people like yourself sending us $5 or $10 per month, whatever they can do, keeps me full of beer and burritos and cranking out these podcasts for record nerds around the world. So there you have it. Patreon.com/vinylguide. Give us some love up there and is much appreciated. Alrighty, enough of the jibber jabber. Let's get into our conversation with Mr. John McCrae of the band Cake. This week on the Vinyl Guide, we are pleased to be welcoming John McCrae of Cake to the show, who they're getting ready to come to Australia, Sydney, Perth, Adelaide, Melbourne, Brisbane. But I've got a sinking suspicion that John is a bit of a record nerd as well. Is that true, John?
Yeah, it's taking up a lot of my house. Yeah.
Okay. Is the sickness still fresh? Are you still bringing in lots of records?
I'm re-listening to a lot of them actually. Some of them I haven't listened to in a very long time, and I'm getting the same kind of joy that I got when I first listened to them. Perez Prado, who's a Mexican band leader from Cuba. Some of his stuff is got kind of commercial towards the end as he became popular in the United States, but his early stuff is really like kind of punk rock. It's like really dissonant and has a lot of really cool grooves. And I've just been it's wild that you think you've tapped out with something and then you give it a break and you go back and it's like, wow, I'm feeling similar joy.
That's great. That feels like,
yeah.
I always feel, I describe it as I'm chasing the goosebumps. I'm always looking for something else that's going to kind of give me that. Sometimes it's like revisiting an old friend. Okay.
Yeah. Speaking of goosebumps, for some reason, my dad moved the family to Scotland when I was a kid. And for some reason, when I was 15, he let me travel by myself all the way to somewhere in the middle of England to a music festival. And I've got this memory in Knebworth, England, where the sun is going down. Led Zeppelin are playing. I've got a piece of watermelon, and it's really good watermelon. And it's like dripping down my face, and the sun's going down. There's a castle on the horizon as the sun is going down. And they're playing the song Kashmir. and I got goosebumps because it was like, oh my God, the watermelon's really good. The song is echoing across the hills and the sun's going down. That's pretty awesome.
Wow. So you were at Knebworth. Yeah.
I was at Knebworth by myself. Yeah. I was committed.
Wow. And with watermelon and beautiful scenery, Led Zeppelin, all you need is a couple golden retrievers. That's heaven, I think.
Yeah. I didn't have any dogs, but it was pretty stately.
Well, that's wonderful. So music's always played a big role in your life, even as a youngling, yeah?
Yeah. I was attracted to it. I think apparently before I even had music when I was 3 or 4, I would dance to the washing machine rinse cycle. It would, kind of go, bah, 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 and I would like identify the musicality of it. And so I was, super, doing that with my nervous system pretty early. And, I think it definitely helped me get through some shit.
Yeah. So do you remember your early records or some of the most formative ones in your youth?
Yeah, I think I had some Beatles records, and had some Bob Dylan records and like Puff the Magic Dragon, which I really liked when I was like 4 years old. And and the Bob Dylan I kind of liked, and also Arlo Guthrie and Woody Guthrie, and that was my first run in with music. And then my parents both played music. My dad played accordion, like Russian gypsy accordion, and my mom played like folk music on the acoustic guitar. So I was kind of forced into it. And I liked it too, but it was also my dad, when he would play, it was kind of hard to fall asleep, and it was a little irritating sometimes.
But was your dad into polkas by chance?
No, just really Eastern European kind of minor key stuff. No, he thankfully was steered clear of that.
Oh, yeah. My dad was into polkas, and the polka show on the radio was Sunday morning, which was always meant racket in our house when after a big Saturday night.
That's pretty confrontational on a Sunday morning. I mean, look, there's some good polka music though. I mean, honestly, there's some stuff that grooves hard, So like, and Myron Florin is an amazing accordion player played with big bands and whatnot, but there's some amazing polka music.
Yeah, but not 7 a.m. after you just drunk a 12-pack of Miller Genuine Draft.
No, not at all.
Now, as I understand, the first time you were on record was Rancho Seco. Is that correct?
Yeah. That was a kind of protest song. There was a nuclear power plant, and it was in our town, and it was leaking radioactivity into the environment. It was illegal for them to get rid of the radioactive liquid, so they made it into a steam and were able to circumvent the regulations and release radioactive steam into the environment. And anyway, so some of us got sort of bothered about that, and it wasn't so much a political thing. It was just like, this is a problem, I'm gonna sing about it. And and so got a little bit of, few people heard that song.
So it really is interesting because you're talking about Bob Dylan and Woody Guthrie and the poets, but also a very strong sense of social justice has kind of been built in since the early days. Is that fair?
Yeah, I've probably got a little bit brainwashed in that direction. Yeah.
Understandable. I'm a California kid too, and it's a beautiful part of the world up in near Sacramento. Yeah.
I lived around there in Nevada City. I don't know if you know where that is. Lived there for a while, and Berkeley, California. Yeah, it's nice. And it was a good time. It's a little more like everything's a little tightened up with the money of Silicon Valley. The culture is different. There's not as much shame around like being seen getting out of a limo. It's more, people are more like strutting around with wealth, I think, than what I remember from my childhood.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
it's a bit more tasteless. It's an Instagram brag world. Yeah.
it's rough. It's
Yeah.
rough.
So forming Cake, as I understand, in the early '90s, you guys financed the first single.
Kinda. It was actually a 4-song EP, and we saved money from some of our shows and selling T-shirts, and got enough money to print up some 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 EPs, and then we saved up some more money and finished the album and released that on our own label, and that got distribution for some reason in Europe, and we got like kind of known in France before people really knew about us here in the United States. And yeah, and then eventually, like, I think the song Rock and Roll Lifestyle got played on college radio, and then we got signed to a small a Southern rock label, Capricorn Records. And they re-released the album we had already released, and I was just talking to another interviewer about, they asked, what kind of advice did somebody give you early on? Well, East Bay Ray of the Dead Kennedys gave me the advice that I should fight like hell to keep the rights to our masters for our first album that we paid to make. And the record company was like really fighting me hard, and he said, no, just keep fighting. And we got to keep our masters. So anyway, that was back a long time ago. And it's nice when musicians give each other advice, because otherwise we're pretty siloed. We make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah. Well, I still listen to the Dead Kennedys, and very, very few things they said back then are wrong.
Yeah. Well, I like that he took pride in like being competent at business instead of being sort of ashamed, which I think we're supposed to be bad at that, and if we're going to be a real artist. I thought it was really great that, hey, you can be competent.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Do you still hold all your masters? Is that kind of the pattern?
No, unfortunately not. Not all of them. There's a couple. There's a couple albums that we got talked into doing through the label, and it's fine. But I'd like to think that we didn't make a completely wrong choice, but sometimes there's little regrets.
Because as a vinyl nut, obviously I want to get some of my favorite music on record. Cake, up until very recently, was very difficult to get on vinyl. Is that part of the...
I don't know what... Yeah, we didn't try to do that. We just we're in between licensing deals, and I think we're negotiating with one of the labels that own the masters to one of the albums. And anyway, it's just a bunch of haggling, I guess, and whatever.
Yeah. That box set that came out in 2014. I don't know if you know how crazy it went on the secondary market. Are you aware of kind of...
No.
It's regularly between $700 and $1,000 for a box set. That 2014 one.
I should have bought them all, and then we sold them.
I have a whole garage of them.
I could retire. Yeah.
So there's a B-sides and rarities that I think is only available on that box set.
I think so. Yeah, I think at this point, until we re-release it, we may re-release it. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Eventually. I think for this next album, we'll probably try to get a distribution deal with somebody that includes some of that old stuff at the same, and the new album, just kind of a general sort of refresh.
Right. Now, how far away are we from this new album?
I'm done, pretty much, but I think I'm looking for a good mixer to help me mix. But the songs are recorded and it's pretty much ready to go. And so I imagine if I don't hit some kind of brick wall, probably by early next year, there'll be something.
Okay. All right. 2027 release.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if for some reason there's something crazy that happens, maybe the end of this year, but I think realistically, probably sometime early next year.
Okay. Well, that's hopeful. Because when Sinking
Yeah.
Ship came out, what is it?
Yeah.
That's 5 years, 6 years ago now, something?
Right.
Was that?
Yeah.
It kind of gave hope, I guess, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, with Sinking Ship, it was kind of like, we thought, why should we even make albums anymore? Maybe we should just release a song here and a song there and forget it. But gradually, I've sort of come back to the idea of like, making a collection of songs and trying to fit them together in a way that makes sense. Yeah, so I think that's what we're gonna do, and there's definitely plenty of songs now, so it should be hopefully a good album. After all this time, it better be.
Yeah, the pressure's on. What
Right?
do the Cake albums typically have themes or through lines that go through them?
I'm not into that. Like, I think I'm into accidental themes, but I'm not into like forcing a song to like fit into the context of a bunch of other songs. If it happens naturally, that's cool. But I think my greatest fealty is to one song, and I don't want to make adjustments based on something else that's going on. It's like it should be its own universe, and the laws of physics should, all pertain to that one thing and not. And I think accidentally there's synthesis or commonality between songs, and ideally that happens. But I think when it's like really intentional, it sounds kind of forced to me.
Yeah, no, I get it. There's another band, Fountains of Wayne, and they do. I think it's very similar. They focus on the song, but once the collection comes together, it does have this accidental kind of theme. So if you listen or think back to something like Comfort Eagle, are you kind of clear where you were in that headspace to make that?
Yeah. I mostly, but I was just trying to see, can I get that many songs all good enough sounding to sort, and then also good enough sounding together. And it's mostly just visceral, like, how do I feel good with this song after the song that precedes it, and I'm trying to get a whole bunch of them glued together, in a way that. And I think sometimes you get to a point where you have like 14 or 15 songs, and you're like, this one just doesn't belong anywhere. It just doesn't. It feels weird in this, and so that's when things sort of fall away, and the album becomes. It does kind of become like its own sort of unit, but it's, I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah. So is that kind of been the reason for the long time since Pressure Chief?
Yeah. I mean that, and also I had kids, and well, actually we did release
Showroom.
Showroom of Compassion, in 2011. But yeah, I mean that's still so long.
Yeah.
I think also I kind of lost a little willingness to take part in the music industry. I think it's always been so shitty to musicians, and it's just gotten worse with the tech industry. I just feel like it's pretty fucked up, and I think I got a little grumpy about it. Like it just feels like I felt like I don't know how it could get worse, and it did get worse, and
It seems you have this, you start out as a musician, had this dream of kind of making music and getting signed. I think that was generally the big thing. But the reality of it is so different. Is that you're kind of crestfallen with the whole kind of reality
Well,
of it?
I mean, I knew the thing was kind of, I knew the thing was rigged, like even before, it was always like exploitative towards artists. But now it's just become like really supercharged in that direction. And, it's like you can have a billion people, and who can get a billion people to listen to anything? But even if you do this really implausible thing, you still don't have enough money to pay rent. It's not, yeah, it's not sustainable anymore unless you're endlessly touring or unless you're a giant, a Taylor Swift level artist. I think so. The middle class is just like all the other parts of society. The middle class has been pretty much hollowed out. And I always liked the idea that we were sort of middle class. We weren't like big stars, and but it just got so hard to make the math work.
Yeah. And even touring. So you slowed down on that over the last couple of decades.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, totally. I mean, why I never loved endless travel, and I also feel like it's a little weird. Like if I'm thinking about like environmental, like carbon footprint or whatnot, it's pretty rough. Like there's really no like eco-friendly way of touring. It's pretty,
Yeah.
that's just it is what it is. So yeah, so I don't know. Like I'm conflicted about touring.
With this new
Um,
record, and obviously with Upbeat, you control all the pressing now. You can kind of control all that. Are you thinking about eco vinyl options? Those
um,
they do exist.
yeah, I don't know that much about it, but I think when the time comes, I'm gonna definitely try to see what's available. But that would be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and I guess like the kids like are into like CDs again. My daughter's 16 and she's like, "What? We like CDs better." So I don't know what to do really.
It's almost like because for a while vinyl was really cheap, and then we all stocked up on vinyl, and then it became hip again, and then now CDs they're 50 cents. You can't even give them away, and that's what It's just
Yeah,
affordability plays a big role.
that's right. Yeah. Yeah, and CDs honestly they did suck for the first 5 years or so, and then they really improved a lot in sonically. They don't last forever, but they're, pretty reliable, medium. And yeah, so there you go. It's I don't think cassette is really going to come back big time, but it's funny to me that the CD is like, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So the one thing that's always kind of been very interesting with Cake is the visual identity of the band. There's that
Hmm.
font. It seems like almost like a lino cut type artwork, limited colors. Is that something that's kind of from your hand? Were you kind of the artist that was working with that tools, or how did we arrive to
Yeah.
that?
I made all of our posters the first, I don't know, 10 years or so. And, and did that with like scissors and copy machine and whatnot. So it's very a continuation of kind of a home crafts project that went too far. Yeah.
Just became the visual identity, and sinking ship kind of seemed to be one of the major deviations from that.
Yeah, 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 totally. I've enjoyed getting other artists that I like to try to like move a little in the direction of our thing, but still hopefully do something interesting. I haven't decided what I want to do for the next album cover. I may do it myself. I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You almost have to at this point. I mean, just to have the
Mm,
full set of cards there that
right,
kind of go
right.
together.
Yeah. I like that. I like that aspect of it. The initial idea, I think it was just sort of here's like this product. It's like here's a can of dog food. We don't have to be so special. We're just this, here's your music product.
Yeah.
Anyway,
If it's good dog food, people will find it.
yeah, there's a certain humility to that, I think.
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't need to be flashy. It doesn't need to be too. Yeah. I mean, most of your covers, I think, are maybe two colors.
Yeah, two or three.
Yeah. And the textures, I guess that comes from kind of a DIY ethos. You mentioned East Bay Ray, so I'm assuming you were kind of in that community. What role did DIY play within Cake?
Well, I didn't think of it as DIY. I just thought nobody else is going to do this, you know. Um, I think we did release a single of a vinyl single, which is really hard to find, of Rock and Roll Lifestyle, and
Hmm.
that like literally printed that on basically cut off Manila envelopes and printed the image onto those Manila envelopes, and Yeah, and that's total. Yeah, but it wasn't like, yeah, we're DIY. It was like, well, how are we gonna do this? Okay, yeah, let's try this.
I've got access to a Xerox machine. Yeah,
Exactly.
well, it was on Harry Records, and that is very hard to find. You're right. Do you know how many were made?
Not very many. Like probably in the hundreds, or maybe, or probably not more than that.
Did most of them go overseas? You said it was kind of got
A lot of them went to France. For some reason, French people liked us before Americans.
Okay.
I think because America was really into a big rock sound, like it was early '90s. So although grunge was like, sort of claiming to be a different, less low self-esteem version of rock, it was still big sounding. And we were really intentionally small sounding, and America was not into it. I mean, they're like, well, are you guys strong enough? Why aren't you? Are you weak?
Well, I would also imagine, just kind of knowing, spending a bit of time in France, the lyrics are actually easier to understand in case.
That's right.
For someone whose English isn't their first language.
Yeah.
Whereas with Pearl Jam or any of those grunge bands, like good luck understanding that.
You have to find the liner notes. Yeah, that's probably a lot of it too. Yeah, no, it's like also, yeah, the mixes, the vocal, it's vocal forward, which is similar to like country music, like 1950s, 60s, 70s country music. The vocal is always audible. You don't need liner notes to access that information.
Yeah. So this new album X is in the future. You've had 15 years or so. Do you think, are there a whole bunch of outtakes that have just kind of not made the cut? Do you think at some point there's going to be a whole nother set of songs that you didn't use for that final LP?
I think, yeah, definitely. I mean, it's not a good album unless there's like 3 times as many outtakes. You know what I mean? It's going to be a bad album if there's nothing that you threw away.
Yeah. Okay. So you've cut it down. You've made it lean over the years.
Yeah.
Just the highest level of quality, and on the path
there's all kinds of waste. Yeah. And it's all painful, because you're like, I tried so hard to make that work, and you just got to be cold about it.
Would you consider releasing those at some point just for the Uber fans?
Yeah, no, totally. I think I'd want to like spruce them up a little bit, maybe, like try to, maybe do a thing like what the Beatles did with what's that album where there's a lot of half songs.
Oh, Anthology.
It was like kind of strung together, try to do art with it, make a collage out of it, maybe.
Right. Okay. Oh, that's interesting.
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, but I've got to finish this one first and see where I am.
I'm sure you get that question all the time. When's that coming? So I won't lean too heavy on that, but But you're touring Australia again. So how did this happen? It's been, I think I saw you guys last time you were here, but that was in the early 2000s, I seem to recall.
Yeah, I think it's just like, it's crazy how long we let it go. I hate really long plane flights. I think that's mostly what it is. But I always am glad when I'm there. It's always it's really I think it's a wonderful place. I love the birds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The
crazy birds.
I moved here 25 years ago, and I can't imagine a different reality. And you're coming here perfect time of year, March. You get to go to the beach. It's going to be beautiful.
Yeah. What part of where are you located?
I'm in Sydney, but I grew up
in I like Sydney the best, almost. Yeah.
I grew up in the Bay Area, so again, not that far from, I think, Murder Burger.
Yeah, I grew up in Berkeley.
Oh, there you go. Telegraph Avenue. We got a lot of records
there.
Yeah,
I used to steal comic books from that bookstore on Telegraph when I was like 7 years old.
Yeah. When I was 30.
No. I wasn't an adult.
Also, there are some other recordings, just to finished nerding out, live at the Crystal Palace, there was one vinyl pressing. Again, this is going for like $300 on the secondary market.
Wow.
Any hope we'll see some of these reissues? Or actually, better yet, do you think we'll see some vinyl on the merch table in Australia?
I'd like to do that. I think I'll talk to our manager about that and see if we've got something we could bring. Because that would be fun.
Yeah. Or you can get them pressed down here so you don't even have to ship them. I'll make you some connections if you want. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll see what he has to say about it. But yeah, that makes all the sense. It seems like we should have that available already.
Yeah. Well, 100%. Well, John, It's been lovely talking to you again. I've been a big fan of the band. I can't wait to see you guys again. Everyone, make sure you go to destroyalllines.com for the cake tickets. First night of Sydney's already sold out. Second night is going quick. And they're going to Perth, too. And I know people from Perth always complain, oh, you never bring bands here. Well, they're there. Get your tickets while you still can. John, travel safe, mate, and we'll see you in the new year.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Have a good one.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
He's a good bloke, that John McCrae. Looking forward to seeing that band yet again. It's been quite some time. March 2027, Perth, Adelaide, Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane. Get your tickets now, destroyalllines.com, and we'll see you there. And that's it for this episode of the Vinyl Guide podcast. Thank you all for listening, lending me your ears. Appreciate everyone who's sharing these episodes online, putting them on Reddit forums and Facebook groups. Of course, those of you who are leaving us positive reviews on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, well, that is very much appreciated. And of course, you Patreon legends who are supporting us at patreon.com/vinylguide. Well, I'm sending love your way. We'll be back shortly with a brand new episode. So until we talk next time, you all behave yourselves. And thanks again for listening to the Vinyl Guide podcast. Cheers.